What if the biggest threats to humanity have already been conquered? Yuval Noah Harari's Homo Deus. A brief history of tomorrow dives deep into our future. Humanity has achieved incredible feats, overcoming famine, disease, and war, but what comes next? Harari begins with a bold observation. For the first time in history, more people die from overeating than starvation, from old age rather than infectious diseases, and by suicide rather than violence. Humanity's long-standing enemies of hunger, plague, and war have been largely defeated, but this progress has created new challenges. We've entered the Anthropocene epoch where human activity shapes the planet more than any other force. So how did we get here? Harari explains that early humans viewed themselves as interconnected with nature. Hunter-gatherers practiced animism, believing they were part of a larger web of life, communicating with animals and spirits. This all changed with the agricultural revolution. Humans began controlling nature instead of coexisting with it, seeing animals as resources rather than fellow beings. Today, practices like factory farming and mass animal sacrifices highlight the dominance of human needs over other life forms. Harari introduces a fascinating concept, shared fictions. What holds human society together isn't just laws or borders, but shared beliefs in things like nations, money, and human rights. These constructs exist only because we collectively believe in them. For example, a dollar bill is just paper until we agree it holds value. These shared stories enable cooperation on a massive scale. But what happens when these fictions fall apart? History shows that empires collapse and ideologies lose their grip when people stop believing in them. Harari recounts the fall of Nicolae Ceausescu's dictatorship in Romania, where the regime crumbled not because of a stronger opposition, but because people no longer believed in its authority. Before we move on to Harari's next insight into humanism, make sure you subscribe for more thought-provoking content. So, what new stories will define the 21st century? That's where humanism comes in. Humanism is the belief that human experience and individual meaning are central to life. Harari breaks it down into three pillars. Humans write their own destiny, economic growth drives progress, and happiness and meaning come from within through personal experiences. This worldview has driven unprecedented progress, but is it sustainable? Harari questions whether we can balance individual freedom with societal stability. He illustrates this with the story of Angela Merkel and a Palestinian refugee girl. Merkel's practical focus on immigration policy sparked a debate on empathy, responsibility, and compassion. It's a classic humanist dilemma. How do we balance the needs of the many with those of the individual? Yet humanism itself might soon face a new challenge, what Harari calls dataism. In a world increasingly run by data and algorithms, will human experience still matter? Think about it. We already rely on algorithms for daily decisions. Google Maps tells us the fastest route. Spotify curates playlists tailored to our mood, but this is only the beginning. As AI systems become smarter, they could diagnose illnesses, make business decisions, and even predict human behavior more accurately than we can. Dataism prioritizes information and efficiency over feelings and intuition. Harari warns that this shift could create a world where human experiences like joy, pain, and creativity are seen as mere data points. Even worse, it could deepen inequality. Imagine a future where only the wealthy can afford cognitive enhancements, living longer and controlling their emotions through technology. Those without access would be left behind in a new kind of biological divide. But here's the critical question: can we shape this future? Dataism isn't an external force, it's a reflection of our choices. Every time we share data online, use smart devices, or trust algorithms, we contribute to this evolving reality. We must decide whether to embrace data as a tool for self-discovery or risk losing our autonomy to systems that manipulate our desires and decisions. Harari emphasizes the power of awareness. Understanding how technology influences us can help us maintain control over our values. We need to question the difference between information and wisdom, between convenience and freedom. If we succeed, dataism could enhance human creativity and empathy rather than diminish them. Before we move on to Harari's final warning about manipulation and control, make sure you subscribe for more thought-provoking content. Harari raises a chilling possibility. What if algorithms manipulate us without our knowledge? Targeted ads already influence our buying habits, subtly shaping opinions and desires. The future may not involve an evil AI overlord, but rather a gradual erosion of free will through invisible algorithmic control. To resist this, we must be mindful of how technology impacts our thoughts and actions. The future is not set in stone. We have the power to shape it through our decisions and conversations. Before you click on our next video, think about this. How do you want technology to shape your future? Can we ensure that compassion, creativity, and connection thrive in a world driven by data? The human story is still being written. What role will you play?